Hey Josh, thanks for the video reply. Yeah, the question wasn't exactly for Inmendham. It was anybody who could give any contribution to it. So this is going to be a pretty short video. I'm just going to address a couple things. First thing I'm going to address is your definition of right. I think you're on the right track, but it's still pretty incorrect, because the nature of a right implies inherent ownership. So, for instance, you can say I have the right to exist because existence is inherent. I have the right to free speech because speech is an inherent quality that I own. I have the right to pursue a life that will make me happy because happiness is an inherent quality that I own. So when you look at the nature of our rights, they seem to imply inherent ownership under some form of moral guideline that requires us to behave in a certain way in order for the most efficient means of survival for our species, or for, I would say, vicious beings. Although so far man is the only species we know that is vicious. And so, yeah, gun ownership isn't an inherent ownership. We don't inherently have the right to own a gun. I would say it's more of a privilege. Much like it's a privilege to own a TV or a computer or a game or whatever. These are privileges that we must earn. Someone must earn. Owning a gun isn't a right. I would say it's more of a privilege, and it's okay to have those privileges so long as they're heavily restricted. They need to be way more restricted than they are now. And it's important to understand there are these governments and the societies that do restrict gun ownership have a infinitely less murder rate, period. So than we do in America. And I would say a lot of it's attributed to the availability of guns. I wouldn't say all of it's attributed to that, but a lot of it has to do with culture, not culture, but poverty. A lot of it has to do with poverty. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that taking away all guns or restricting guns is going to completely diminish the murder rate, but it would help control it until we can somehow better fix the our current situation. And of course, the restriction of gun ownership means the restriction of gun ownership, not necessarily the complete eradication of gun ownership. So people in the army and policemen would have guns, and I would disagree with citizens owning guns because I really don't see the point. But I would be okay if they heavily restricted the type of gun you could buy, who can own a gun, and how much ammo you could purchase for a certain gun, and how many guns you can own. All of the variables need to be looked at. And so that's pretty much it. So thanks for the video reply.